Mary Staffel, Rick Irving. We've got Kyle Polson, Bill Palmer, James Vincent, and the two technical guys, the Irving boys, Dusty and Tyler, and myself. So we're ready. So y'all want to start asking questions or whatever? When are we going to sing God Bless America? Towards the end?
Yeah, we'll sing it towards the end.
Okay.
Well, we wanted to be here. We haven't been here in a long time.
Right.
Ron hadn't been here. But just next week will be the 4th anniversary of Hometown Heroes.
And it started right here. The first year we did every show right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all want to start? What's the latest, Don? What's your itinerary? You're all over the place. You're going to go to Washington. You just came back from Pearl Harbor.
So, yeah. Why don't we go back to the beginning? What did we do first? The beginning of this year, in February, we went to the Iwo Jima reunion in D.C.
Right, we had the Iwo Jima reunion. We had the Iwo Jima reunion. Where was that?
Washington, D.C.
Okay, Washington, right.
You got to visit with a lot of other Iwo Jima survivors.
Oh, yeah, but Pearl Harbor. Yeah,
that was in December.
Yeah.
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 So then, after that, you went to Iwo Jima.
Yeah. That was only, what, 2-3 weeks ago?
That was the end of March.
End of March.
So,
yeah, the end of March.
Yeah. Tell them about your experiences in Iwo Jima.
Well, we flew in there, got out. I'd been there before. I was there about 3 years after the battle, and took a look at it. We went back, and I wasn't too impressed. I mean, it was there. It was empty. So now we're going to go. We're going to go to Iwo. And so we go there. Gave us a terrible welcome. They just weren't happy about it. You could tell. In fact, my son and Mark went down the beach to grab sand. They told them they would be limited. We've never had that happen before. And so, but they did let they go up on Mount Suribachi, and I took 5 guys with me. And Tracy was with me and my son. And we had a devotion. And I told them up there what I had done, came up the north side, fought our way up with a flamethrower, and casualties were heavy, and the Japanese were heavy. We got up on top there, the flag goes up right over there, and I said, there's a concrete slab with a hole, but no flag. Johnson told them they could take it down if they wanted to. Yeah. But the Japanese flag is waving. They let us be up there 20 minutes, then told us we had to leave. Ooh, I got boiling mad. So we went down reluctantly, and it was a bad meeting. Yeah, then we went to Guam, and I fell in love with Guam. I want to go back.
There's only one day a year that they have that ceremony where the Americans are invited.
Oh, it was the worst ceremony we had. It was only half. This is funny. I didn't know who he was. I'm sitting there with a whole line of us, 3 or 4 lines, and this fellow's really dressed up nice. And he's sitting there to my right, and we're talking, and so someone said something, I went, "Hoorah!" And he went, "Hoorah!" Everybody laughed. It's the general's son.
Oh.
Korebayashi.
The Japanese general's son.
Japanese.
Yeah. He said, "You know who that was?" I know, "That's the general's son."
Yeah.
Don, let me ask you something. The flag, was there 2 flags on the day?
All right, here's the deal on the flag, how it started. No, very few people know this. On the transports that brought us, the skipper gave our battalion commander a flag. He said, "This is a very special friend of mine, and he wanted to know if this could be put up. If we get up there, everything is fine, we can put it up. You think you could get that up there?" He said, "I'll try my best." He says, "I appreciate it." So he gave him the flag. So he called Lieutenant Schreier. And he said, Schreier, he said, told him what to do. He said, I'd really like to get it up for him if you can find a way to do it. So he took about 6, 7 guys along. They went around the left side up there, but the fighting was here. So they got up over there, but they killed 7 Japanese. They had a skirmish up there. And then they started going to work. Do you know what the pole is?
Mm-mm.
What did I say it was?
Drain pipe.
Drain pipe.
Drain pipe.
Well, they called rainwater. Couldn't make water. We made water.
Okay.
That's why they surrendered. It was killing them. They were just practically crawling. It was terrible. That's why they surrendered. Yeah, but drain pipe. And then I asked a question to somebody, but I said, what the heck they tie it with? We didn't have anything about a flag.
Rope or anything.
Yeah. So Schreier found a small bale of wire. I don't know why they would use it up there, but there it was. And so they used baling wire to tie that flag up. Well, about 30 minutes later, up comes the head photographer. What's his name?
Yeah.
Huh?
I know who you're talking about.
I know it, and I can't bring it up. But anyway, he and his crew went up there with that bigger flag, so they took it down. They took the first one down, and then put that flag up.
What happened to that first flag?
That first flag is at our museum, up on the East Coast.
It's in Washington, D.C.
Where?
In Washington, D.C. We saw it when we went to the Iwo Jima reunion. We went to the museum, and they explained everything about the flag raisings and the photos and it's a really neat museum to go to if you're in Washington, D.C.
But there's so many stories on that flag raising.
Yes.
Just all kinds of stories.
So where is the second flag? The one that was...
I don't know. Where is it? Would it be at Smithsonian? I haven't heard. Nobody knows.
Yeah, that first flag... That's why I want to know that story.
Yeah.
That's
laid out there. You can see it.
Yeah.
That was the commander asked him to put that up for a friend.
Right.
And but the second flag, the most iconic photo of World War II.
Yeah.
Nobody knows where that flag is. I don't think it's in the Smithsonian.
But you can understand when that first flag up, we were fighting up that north side.
Yeah.
Fighting
and it was y'all's.
Right
it was the 5th Division.
Yes.
It was y'all.
It was our regiment.
It was your regiment.
Yeah, and that was on the north side. Yeah.
Did you get to go down that Mount Suribachi? They had 7 floors where they had hospitals.
I'll tell you what happened. When we got done when we secured Mount Suribachi, we took off and moved over on the left side, probably 5-6 miles. And there's a mountain there, and there's a big opening, and they were throwing rockets out, everything on our boys, and it was getting dark. I had a flamethrower, so I had no help. I have to have a man on my left and right. If I fall, I can't get up, but that's 72 pounds on my back, and so I had to stay back. I could see what was happening. I could hear it. I could hear everybody on the doggone speaker. Oh my gosh, on the horn. Oh my gosh, everybody was getting killed. He got it, that got it. It was a disaster. They beat the heck out of us. How many do you think of us walked away there the next morning? 8 of us. 8 of us out of close to 300.
Don, how many of the guys that helped you with the flamethrower?
Oh, excuse me. 18 of us. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 18. Right.
How many of the guys that helped you on each side? How many of them got killed during the battle?
What was that?
Of all the people that were on each side of you, the guys that were with you, how many of them survived?
At the end of the 6th week, it was 6 weeks of battle, we were released. When we hit the beach, 6 weeks earlier, I hit the beach with about 330 men
right.
in our outfit. When we reached the north, 18 of us walked off and went down by our cemetery at the foot of Mount Suravachi, and we met our regimental commander. Great man, decorated, Belleau Wood, First World War. He said, "Fellas, I want you to line up. I want you to go through that cemetery and say goodbye to your buddies. Then come out, we'll get aboard a Higgins, go out to our transport, go back to Pearl, we'll get ready to take on Japan." Well, we didn't hit Japan because she finally surrendered, but we occupied. Well, when each of us walked through the gate, there was a flag, a piece of paper on the left side of the arch, and we read it. This is what it said. "Fellows, when you go home, tell the folks we did our best, that they may have many more tomorrows." That includes all of you,
Yes.
as far as the eye can see.
Yes.
That's what that letter said. Yep.
So Don, since we're leaving the island, you finished on the island. I think this is a great time to give this to Larry. Give that to Larry.
Iwo Jima. That's
Jima.
not sand. That's volcanic ash.
It's kind of reddish, or yes. Somebody took a picture of that.
Blow it up. Enlarge.
Yeah, we're gonna blow them up. Thank you.
Yeah, but that's the flag story. Yeah. We hear so much of that. Oh my God.
So Don, when you came home from Iwo Jima, and then your next trip was Memorial Day weekend, where you went again to Washington, D.C. to be there with the American Veterans Center and Gary Sinise Foundation.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell the folks that are watching about your trip to Washington to sing God Bless America?
Oh, yes. Well, they somehow that song is being loved. I mean, we're not as much doing our national anthem, although we love it, we do it. But everybody seems to want God Bless America all the
Yes.
time. And so that's what I've been doing. That song came out during the war. Kay Smith introduced that song. It's a beautiful job. So I don't know what to tell you about that, right?
So you got to go sit and visit with Gary Sinise. How was Gary? How is Gary Sinise?
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, Gary Sinise, he had a beautiful show going on. It was patriotic, and somehow 2 people came and visited us here. 3 people. They did just what you're doing right now. And they're taking it back to Washington. I knew nothing else. They said, we're going back to Washington. I said, well, hope we get to see you again. Oh, you may. So they left. They took it back to him, and their group worked on that. And so what they did is take my story that they interviewed me, and well, you can see it on your phone.
Right.
Yeah, it's Gary is looking up, and it's a picture of me up there in my uniform, and then he introduces. But here to tell his story is Robert Patrick, an actor, and he did a beautiful job to doing that. He really did. So that was a great opportunity, and I felt so great about the. It broke me down, though. My God, the way he did it, it was great. He came and walked a little bit towards the front steps, and I'm down here. And people are all over there. And as he came to the end, he stopped. And he looked up, and he said, I love this country. He said, I love that flag. He says, and I love the Marine Corps, wouldn't have any other. Then he came down, walked over to me, tipped my cap back and kissed me on the cheek.
Wow.
Big bruiser of a guy. Everybody laughed and cracked up. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Well, and that was last year's Memorial Day,
That
and
was
this
last
year,
year.
right? And this year he went back, so he absolutely loves that video. So people really want to see that. It's short. It's a quick Reader's Digest version of Don's story, told very dramatically and so well done. And
Can you send that to me?
absolutely. And then
It doesn't
this
sound
year-
like it was rehearsed.
it's really powerful. Like when I tell people to play it, I'm like, turn it up so you can actually hear it,
Yeah.
because it's like the song that was written. So since you've seen Don last, he is a recording artist too. He
Wow.
last year in the springtime, he had before that met some songwriters that came to Fort Worth. They wrote a song of Don's story, and it's called "The Sand of Iwo Jima." And Lee Greenwood and John Rich performed that song, and it is amazing. And I also say to turn it up and listen to it. But so last year he went to Nashville, and as 100-year-old, he is the oldest person to ever sign a recording contract.
Wow.
And they did a whole video along with the song. While the song is playing, you can see the video of him in Nashville signing this contract.
They wrote that song, Sands of Iwo Jima.
Yeah, it's really good.
And whenever they did that, we had before the Air Power Council had Panther Music Night,
Right.
and they had these top songwriters from Nashville come
Yep.
in and visit with him the day before. They wrote the song, and that night at the benefit, just the copies of it sold for thousands of dollars.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, something else happened. I've been wanting to meet Trump personally, get to talk with him just quickly. So all of a sudden, they called.
Wait, we got to tell them about your other things first. We got to wait. We got to hold that one for a second. So after you went to Memorial Day this year, then you went to Las Vegas.
Vegas.
Oh my gosh.
So where?
Yeah.
Hey, Don, is this where this came from?
They had me go to a sort of a club where they had artifacts all on the wall, you know. Wonderful fella. And he just made me right at home there. And so he came over and he said, Don, this here is a beautiful, in good shape samurai sword. Commanders carried this sword. The other one, about that long, carry.
Wow.
If they failed to do what they're
Yes,
supposed to
right.
do. But this here, let's see. Oh, you got a button there?
I think
I've
so.
never
Well,
actually
I can't
opened
tell.
it.
Maybe it doesn't open. Good question.
No, that's not
That's
it.
not it. Let's see if we can figure it out.
There it is.
There it goes.
There it is.
That's
Be
beautiful.
careful with it, Larry. We don't want to get on the news.
Yeah.
We don't
Can
want
you
to be on the
imagine
news for the wrong
On
thing.
Ewo, at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, come screaming and yelling and swinging this sword in the air at us.
Mm.
You had to kill him quick.
Yeah.
Don't let him in. Yeah, that's a deadly weapon.
Mm.
Beautiful, slides in those so
I
beautiful.
can tell the story of the guy that he wanted that sword, and the guy blew
Hey, does that remind you of the guy when you were on Iwo Jima that had the sword you wanted?
Yes. he blew it up.
Tell Larry that
Yeah.
story. That's a great
we
story.
were fighting our way to Mosurabashi the same morning, and a Jap ran across, and he jumped down in the hole. And I said to my two buddies, I said, I just saw him go in that hole. Let's get up a little closer. So we got up close. He's out there where that light is. And I said, Detakoi, come. Kohanoshaki, flamethrower. Nothing. I said about 2 or 3 times, let's advance. So we walked up closer, and out he came. Now he went in pretty bad looking. he came out with that beautiful sword, one of those swords, and a beautiful uniform on. He was a commander.
Wow.
Oh yeah. And I said, let's walk up there. And all of it, I noticed that his hand was on his sword, and the hand was up here. And as we advanced, boom, nothing left. Not even the sword.
So he had a
He blew, committed Harry-Carry.
Yeah.
He, boom, there's nothing left.
So I've been told the Japanese, it was more honorable to.
Oh,
to
yes,
commit
oh,
suicide.
yes.
Right.
You don't surrender.
Yes, no surrender.
That was a disgrace.
Right.
But that's funny. On Iwo, we noticed that they would not surrender.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, about 4 or 5 weeks out of the 6, maybe 3, 4 weeks, we noticed they would come to us. They could talk them out. But they were starving for fire.
Sure.
They were a terrible looking mess. You know, and they were those bikinis. That's all they had. But what was I going to say? I'm talking too fast. And then suddenly they start surrendering, and we couldn't figure that out. We found out from one of the Japanese. He said that he was sneaking down to the galley to steal food. And then he says on the way back he found Stars and Stripes, the newspaper,
Yeah.
and it said Japanese surrenders. And he walked over and surrendered.
Wow.
Then they started surrendering. It was crazy. Yeah.
So while you were in Vegas, and we still
Yeah,
don't
this-
know who signed this football. Don can't remember whose signature this
Yeah.
is.
This
And I
fella
tried to
came-
find out, but we don't know.
Well, we went to the big
To the Raiders Stadium.
Right.
The
oh,
Allegiant.
big,
I think
huge,
it is.
huge,
Hmm.
I
beautiful
think it's
stadium.
Allegiant Stadium
Yes.
in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a big thing
Oh, it
going
was
on there.
gorgeous. And that's where we had the program all day. 2 big shows. And he came up to me and he said, Don, we'd like to present this football to you. Do you mind if I put my initials on it? There they are. I can't read it.
Me
But
either.
anyway, he said, there. He said,
Looks like
congratulations. He gave me that.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's if they have in the showcase, you know. So that's real nice. And I'm not a football player. Yep.
So then you come back from Vegas. He just got back from Vegas. Like, that was last week.
Yeah.
And then we got a phone call 2 days ago from some folks with Donald Trump's staff.
She handles all the shows, the technicalities.
So the woman that I talked to, Leslie O'Shaughnessy, she contacted me and she said, hey, on the 4th of July for the President's celebration, we'd really like to have Mr. Graves there if we can arrange that. And so it came down to, we had already scheduled Don to go speak in Tennessee and sing. And so we had to do a little maneuvering and working and massaging, but we got them to understand that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity
Sure.
for him to be the guest of the president for the 250th celebration in Washington,
And
D.C.
I got something to ask you. I've been wanting to do this. I've been saying it all. If I ever talk to him, I'm going to ask you. I've been to Pearl 3 times. Pearl Harbor. There are 3,500 young boys down in that hall. We don't know what's there. We don't know what it looks like. They're there. When the boys get into high school, in our public school, any of them would like to do it, we take care of it and send them and let them be there at a worship at there and look and understand that those kids walked out of school, a lot of them, and became members of the U.S. Navy, and they were torpedoed upside down, and they're still in it. And my question was, when they went to tell the loved ones, what did they tell them? Well, where are they? They're in the ship. Well, they're alive. Well, get them out. We can't. gosh, that must have hurt.
That's the
They
Indian
didn't go to
Wilderness.
sleep.
Arizona.
I mean Arizona.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Arizona.
yeah, that's the Arizona.
In
Nobody
the,
slept.
in the movie, it shows them using a cutting torch or something. That didn't happen.
It may have happened, but whenever I was there, they were telling us that they'd go down there to try to do that, but there's so much methane gas
Yeah.
in the ship from all the decomposed bodies that they had these explosions, so
Oh.
they just left them down there.
There's still oil floating on the
Yeah,
water
it's still doing it. Yeah.
by the Arizona. When you're there, you can still see.
When you it's all barricaded, but there you see it all, and you stand there, and then you leave, and you from here out that light out there. There's a registration. All the boys that are in that ship. There's 12 Marines. It's heartbreaking. We went over there, and then we walked over to the names, and her and I gave a slow salute. And when we turned around, people were standing behind us, and not one dry eye was there.
Wow.
Yep.
Hey, Don, you're talking about Pearl Harbor. Tell us the story about whenever you were a kid and you heard about Pearl Harbor.
What was it?
When you were sitting in the car as a kid, as a young boy, listening to the big bands, and the president came on. Tell us about hearing about Pearl Harbor.
When we first heard about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the day after. It was the 8th.
December the 8th.
Yeah, the 8th. We had not declared war yet. It was
Right.
done on the 8th is when they did it. Well, it was, gosh, it was cold in Detroit. We sat in an old car out in front. We had jackets on, winter helmets. We had blanket over us, and we're listening to the big bands. There's 3 of us, and we're all 316. But we're sitting there listening to the music. Big number. Oh, we used to love that. Then all of a sudden the announcer comes on, and he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this broadcast. The President of the United States will address the nation." So here on he comes, my hero. I love that guy. Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date that will live in infamy. United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked upon by the benevolent armed forces of the Empire of Japan. I interpret the will of Congress and of the people. We shall gain triumphant victory, so help us God. I said, tomorrow morning I'm going downtown, I'm going to join the Marine Corps. I was 16. He said, you can't, you got to be 17. I said, I'll get the paper. I only got 6 months to go. I got up in the morning, told my siblings, my 2 sisters and brother, I don't say nothing to Mom. I'm going down. I told them. They said, okay. So I went downtown, walked up in the building on the 2nd floor, and here's a gunny sergeant in the doorway. He said, what can I do for you, young fella? I said, I want to join up. He said, how old are you? I said, 16. He said, I can't touch you. You got to be 17. Bring your birth certificate, too. You want to do that? I said, yes, sir. He said, go. I ran all the way home with that paper. Ran in the back door. My mom was baking. I was wondering how I'd get by her. She was a 4'10.5" Irish lady. Oh, my God. I said, what's Saturday? Why are you home? You should be in school. I said, Ma, I ducked out of school. I'm going to be a Marine. No, you're not. Your dad was a Marine. I put up enough of that. I don't want to hear that again. So I said, I'm going to be a Marine. No, you're not. Throw that paper away. So I went out in the dining room, and I tucked it in the buffet drawer and put papers on top. Well, 6 months went by, and I'm 17. We had the family party there. Not much. So I went out in the dining room, got that paper. My dad was a Marine the First World War. And I didn't have the pen right away. And I laid it down, and he said, what's that? I said, I'm going to the Marine Corps. He says, give me a pen. I gave him a pen. he signs and he said, Vera, come here. That
Your
was my
mom.
mother's name, yeah. She says, what? The boy's going in the Marine Corps, sign this paper here. I'm not going to sign that. I've gone through it with you. I'm not going to go through this again. And he said, Vera, let me talk to you. Now the boy walks out at 16 years old in school. He hangs around, he bums around, he does menial jobs. He'll probably turn out to be a bum, sign the doggone paper. She said, give me the pen. Hey, I went in the Marine Corps.
Wow.
Thank you, Mama.
And he has a lot of other stuff coming up between now and the end of the year, and then the end of the year he'll have Pearl Harbor again. So I think it's going to be the 4th or 5th year in a row going to Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
So we're working on that now.
Tell us what you did on your birthday this year.
The what?
What did you do on your birthday this year?
Where did we
May
go?
3rd.
On the first day this year,
What did you do? Where were you on May 3rd this year?
May 3rd this year.
The NASCAR race? You
Oh my
sang?
goodness. Yeah, the North Texas Speedway.
Yes.
I always go there on my birthday and sing the national anthem. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and they do it great. They had a huge, big old cake again this year.
And we got to go to the drivers' meeting when they had the drivers' meeting before.
Did you see it? Or?
Yeah, it was.
He
Okay.
was there.
Did you? When I ended the song, and the two Marine pilots come by, right together as I end. And boy, everybody went, oh, yeah!
Leading up to that race, when they contact me, they always say, "Hey, just in case his timing is a little different than last year, can you record or can you time Don singing the national anthem a few times and give me an average?" And so I'll go, "Hey Don, I need you to sing," and then I'll say, "Give your voice a rest a minute. Let's do it again." So then I get all of the 3 times, and I give them to him, and he's always like, "Why?" And I said, "So that when they do the flyover." Because they're trying to time that flyover to be exactly when he finishes that last note. So then that flyover.
And the guy that was communicating with the pilots, he was standing right next to me.
Yeah.
Daggone it. Leave it to the Marines.
How long after you enlisted?
Huh?
When you enlisted in
When
the
I was
Marine,
what?
when you joined the Marine Corps?
Yeah.
How long before you got on the boat?
Oh my gosh. Boat ship. There's no boat. Ship. Boats you fish in.
How long before you went on?
That's
the
what they
ship?
told us.
You went to New Zealand.
You went to New Zealand?
Oh my gosh. I went overseas the first time with another outfit. Anti-tank battalion. We knocked out tank. So we went over to New Zealand and we trained there. We're all set. We're packed up. We got a place we're going to go. We don't know where. Then all of a sudden, we're told, dismantle our gear and everything. We're not going anywhere. We're going to stay for a while. The Raiders, the paratroopers, all special weapons in the Marine Corps. Roosevelt had them break up, join, and help make the 5th Marine Division, called the Spearhead Division. We were designated to take Mount Suribachi.
Yes.
That at that south end of the island. Cut it in half. The 3rd and 4th, 3rd and 4th, from the airstrips on. They were to repair the airstrips with the CVs. We were supposed to knock that mountain out because if you couldn't knock that out, you couldn't move.
But Don, what you didn't know about that until you were close, right? So you left New Zealand and you went. Where did you go from New Zealand?
Oh yeah. From New Zealand. From New Zealand, we went in New Caledonia. That was another one just south of the Solomons. And then then we got ready and moved up towards Iwo. That was it.
And then
Saipan.
And then when did you find out about Iwo?
About Iwo? Never knew a word about it. Never heard the name. We did not know what the story was on that. Nobody knew it. Our skippers, nobody knew it. Roosevelt and our admiral, Nimitz. Oh, Nimitz. Yeah, he was our boss. They knew it. That was top secret.
When did you find out?
Oh, okay. I know what she's getting at. The day before, of course, we're anchored out quite a ways, you know, but we had chow in the morning about 6 o'clock in the morning. So they had makeshift tables and chairs there on an LST. Can't go below. You sleep on the deck. There was 6 tractors, amphibious tractors down below on an LST, and a company of Marines up topside. So we're standing there, and all of a sudden they bring food in, ham and eggs. So I said to a kid next to me, I says, "What's with the ham and eggs?" "Geez, we always had eggs. We never had any ham, though." He said, "Graves, use your head for crying out loud. What do they do to convicts before they execute them?"
Last meal.
Oh, God. Yep, yep. Load your amphibious tractors, and away you go. And the Japanese called them alligators with wheels.
Really?
Yeah.
How was it whenever you jumped out? Whenever you jumped out of the...
Oh, gosh, yeah. Well, you know, here's the beach. I mean, they're jammed up. We got company of Marines. They're stacked. Stacked. We couldn't get on. Here's the water. So they got up here, and they got me up on the edge, my 2 buddies, and shoved me over, and I went down in the water. They leaped over, got me up. Yeah, and I stood, and we headed over, and we just dropped on. We just had to drop to wherever we could. That was just dropped there, and man, everything came on us, everything. And I looked out in the back. I heard woof, woof, like that. Now, what the heck is? And I turned around like that. They're hitting our landing craft out of the water, loaded with Marines.
The battle had been going on for a little while because you were in the 3rd wave.
Yeah, we were in the 3rd wave. But see, they let the first 2 on. They let them. That first got up.
Yeah, they didn't. Y'all thought at first, didn't they, think this is going to be a piece of cake?
Yeah.
And then you got about a few miles in, and all hell broke loose.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many Marines did we lose
7,500.
out of?
22,000 Japanese.
Yeah.
Well, out of 3 divisions.
So somebody asked me to ask you,
90 Marines were on that.
was there a hospital boat out of the island where when soldiers got wounded, they would immediately take them out? So there was a hospital boat.
Yeah, there was a hospital
we had a
ship.
hospital boat.
Yeah. There was, because you had 20,000 were shot up and wounded and taken off the island, right?
Yeah, the Japanese was 20,000.
That
They were killed.
No, but of our boys.
I don't know what the casualties
20,000
were.
shot up and wounded and taken off the island.
Yeah, as soon as they
Is
could.
what I've read,
As soon as they could get them out of
Somebody
there.
told me that there was one of the Marine Corps young man, they patched him up, and he said, "I want to go back."
Yeah.
And they let him go back.
A lot of that happened.
Yeah.
So, you know, the Navy medics, we had one of them was a member of roll call till he passed, John Boswell. He was a Navy medic, and he was assigned to the Marines, and he was a medic on Iwo Jima. And he would not really talk about his story. He would tell you little bits and pieces here and there. He said, "I've lived my whole life wanting to forget it." But, you know, he was leading the young men, the Navy corpsmen, who were determining, do they stay on the island and keep fighting, or do they need to go back to the hospital ship? That was
The ship,
that he did, and they had a lot of them, and there was a famous person that died on that island next to you.
10 feet on the other side of me, John Bassalow.
Who was John Bassett?
John Barcelona was the first Medal of Honor on Guadalcanal. Manila John, before the war. Yeah, he was a good Marine. He came to his commander, Jesse Puller. He was a captain then, and he says, "Sir," he said, "I can't. They run a bond tour, and that's not Barcelona's. That's not him. He was all corps." And he said, "I can't handle this. I want to go back with my buddies." He said, "John, we're making money. I know, but I want to go back with my buddies." He said, "John, you're a Medal of Honor. I can't say no. Go." And he came back with us, and he trained with us. And he was quiet, but he was good. And he was about from here, a little further where he's standing. And he just took a sniper. Yeah. He got put right on.
Have you tell the story about the snipers we were looking for?
Oh, yeah. So, speaking of snipers, you were in a foxhole looking for snipers.
Oh,
Tell
my
that
gosh.
story.
She knows more about her than
Then you did.
I take him to speak a lot, so I know his stories.
She's Army Air Force, for crying out loud. What we're going to do?
The
Snipers.
snipers.
Huh?
Sniper.
Oh, yes. We had about a week to go yet. And so there's three of us in the foxhole. And I took my glasses and I got up on the ground like this and looking for snipers. About 15 minutes, I couldn't see anything. Nothing was moving. So I dropped back down and got on the phone and I called company CP and reported that I was there and hadn't seen a thing. They said, "Well, you better keep looking because our first sergeant just got around his leg. That's back behind us." He says, "They know we're here." I said, "I'll keep looking. By the way, you got a kid coming for your replacement. He'll be there in 10 minutes. I said, "Boy, we could use him." So about 10 minutes, I'm waiting. And he stands at the top of the hole and he said, "Graves?" I said, "Yo." He said, "What do you want me to do?" I said, "Come on down here." He jumped down the hole. And I said, "Just sit down over there. There'll be a lot to do tonight." I said, "I got to get back up there." And he said, "Graves, let me have the glasses. I'll look." I said, "No, you get yourself shot. You don't want to." And they said, "Give him the glasses. That's what he's here for." I threw him the glasses and we're just talking away. He's up there looking. Now, that sniper knew I'd be back. And he was waiting for me.
He was waiting for you.
He was waiting for me. We're sitting there talking. And he fell back. His helmet came down by my feet. And when it stopped swinging around, I looked in the helmet. And caught in the web was a beautiful young lady sitting in a chair with a baby in her lap. I jumped up and I just raised all kinds of, oh, it was awful. I even cursed God, having let that kid take my place. I mean, one of my buddies got up, smacked me, knocked me down. I put my stuff back on and I got on the horn. I said, told him what happened. And I said, "We're going to move to another hole." This was 10-4 and that was it.
How old was he?
Oh, gosh, probably
17, 18?
17, 8. Well, he had to be married, so he must have been 20 years old.
Yeah, 20.
21. Didn't look it. Yeah. But so much of that happened. You
Yeah.
know. Yes.
Tell them the hot chocolate story. Hot chocolate.
Oh, the hot chocolate. Well, you know, we're kids. We don't drink coffee.
Right.
I never had a cup of coffee till I got 21 years old after the war.
Now you drink it all the time.
I drink it all the time now. In the morning. So, what were we going to do?
Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
Oh, yeah. We're sitting there, you know. They came at us at night, but you had to watch out for snipers. And we're sitting there, and I said, "You know what I feel like?" And they said, "What?" "Hot chocolate." They said, "Making up the three of us." We all had the chocolate bars in the ration. In the sea ration, there's a chocolate bar, bittersweet. So we pulled all three of them. I diced them all, got them up, put it in the canteen cup, dumped it in my helmet with water, laid it over the fire, had nice fire going. Demolition burns beautiful.
Wow.
But it doesn't explode. You have to ignite it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're sitting there and we're shooting the breeze. Then all of a sudden you could smell that chocolate. I failed to realize something though. It travels. And all of a sudden I heard, "Hey, Marine, very good chocolato. You bring chocolato here." I said, "If you want chocolate, you come and get it." He said, "Oh, no, you bring here." That's what went on. Crazy stuff.
How many weeks were you on the island? How many weeks? 7 weeks?
6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Yeah.
The whole battle.
They originally thought that the whole thing would be, what, a week or 2
Yeah.
weeks? That was the brass. They thought this is going to be easy.
Right. Thought it was going to be easy. Nobody realized how entrenched the Japanese were.
Yeah.
All the tunnels they had on that island, and they could get across the entire island almost underground.
So they told me we immediately started using the runway.
We got we fought to the north now. We've got Hill 362A, we got that settled. But what was left, we moved to the north. And then they set a few replacements into it. What did you say?
That the Americans started using the landing
Yes,
strip.
okay. They got the first airstrip patched.
Right.
They're all in good shape. And we're sitting up there, and I can hear that. Now, the only time we're going to fight is at nighttime.
Right.
So I saw that baby come in, she's smoke. There's smoke coming out of her. And so it comes down and it lands. We're watching it. And as it hit, the flames started coming up. And she got down along here to our right. See, it was this way, we're up here. And I never saw people move so fast in my life. They got every one of those guys out of that ship. They just ran in there, got them all out, and the darn thing just burst in fire. They run her off in the water. Yeah.
They said that the Japanese knew when we started using it that it was over.
Yeah,
then.
they know what's going on.
They knew that this is over because that was halfway between Saipan and Tokyo, and that's all we needed.
Yeah, and that's
650 miles.
And that's why when Don tells the story about when the president said, when they were in there and they were looking at the map and said, "Do you know what this island is?"
Yeah, when Roosevelt, he called the meeting, and he said, "Gentlemen," he took his stick and he tapped it like that. "Do you know where I'm pointing?" MacArthur didn't know. Nimitz stood up, and Nimitz said, "Sir, if I'm not mistaken, you're right on an island called Iwo Jima." And he said, "Sir, I want that island." He said, "I want that island too."
Yeah.
And for that reason.
And that was it.
That was all we needed.
Yep, that was it. That was it. And boy, they broke up all special weapons, like the Raiders. I broke our stuff. And we all went in and joined the 5th Marine Division.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the 3rd,
That
4th,
was a
and
crackerjack outfit.
5th. Right.
Man, they had 50% of those boys we already been overseas. Yeah.
At 17 or 18 years old.
It's kids, just kids.
Yeah.
Y'all went as kids and left as men.
I gotta tell you about my girlfriend.
Uh-oh. Which one?
I was going to say, I'm not even sure what story's
The one I grew up with
Okay.
in Detroit. Kitty, Irish Carling. Mail came, it always comes. I got that flat package. So my two buddies says, "Oh, they're putting it up on." I said, "No, take it easy." I started teasing them. So we opened it up, and here was a picture of Kitty. Her high school graduation. Beautiful. I took the picture, I stuck it down the edge of the hole. I'm sitting there looking at it like this, "Hey, Graves, what'd you get in the package? Girlfriend? Where is she? Right here? Send her over when you're through with her. I said, forget it. I told her that. When we got back, we got to leave. I told her about you. You guys are terrible. I said, we are.
And now he has so many girlfriends he doesn't know what to do.
He and Fisk
Hey,
Handler.
Mary, anybody do that to you? Yeah, baloney. You know what? I got a head call.
Uh-oh.
Head call. You know what that is?
Mm-mm.
The restroom.
Yeah, Rick and
The head.
yeah.
So this might be a good time for us to,
You,
to end it. So before you go to the restroom, to the head, would you like to give that to Larry?
If you don't burn yourself, you got to be very careful. That's a flamethrower.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Look at the other side.
What does the 122 stand for?
Yep.
That's a number. It's a number.
Wow.
it's a
point.
serializer.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Look at that. It says U.S. Marine
All right.
Corps.
Wow, you got your picture.
Right.
God bless America, the Lord.
Yeah. Do you want to sing "God Bless America" before you
Huh.
hit the head?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairie, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, our home, sweet home. God bless America, our home, sweet home.
Wow.
Kate Smith did that. You can hear it. You need to look it up on the phone. Just ask for it. All you gotta do is punch Kate Smith and it'll come on. She repeats the end higher and higher and higher. Big lady, 200 pounds.
At least.
Don, we love you and we're so proud of you.
Really?
Yes.
He's not going to kiss you, though.
Huh?
He's not gonna kiss you though.
That broke his heart.
I wanted to go to the head ready to get out of here.
Hold on. Let's
All
go
right.
this way right here.
Huh?
Here.
Here you
Turn
go.
around.
Oh. All right.
Rick, it's good to see you.
Oh, where we going?
Rick, y'all help him.
Is it far?
Are we done?
I want to give you those ends. Give you
Oh,
one.
thank
There
you.
you
Of
go.
course.
Get some of
We're
your
still
shirts
on
ready
or
for
we're
Oh,
free.
nice.
We are.
Very
We're still on?
nice.
Okay, everybody. So we thank Mary Stafford, Rick Irving, and of course Don Graves. He's been here a few times. This is the best interview I've ever done with him.
Well, and we thank you because, you know, really, Larry, if it weren't for you, and Rick and I have said this many a times on our show too, you know, this Hometown Heroes came about because of your idea of we've got all of these organizations within the community that serve our veterans, that do things for the community. How do we connect those people? How do we bring the groups together so that, you know, if this one's providing a service that this person needs, how do we do that? And
I
that
don't
was
know,
your idea.
That's what
And-
we thought
and
would
that's-
bring it together.
Right. And that's what created Hometown Heroes. And so now, all these years later, we're still doing that. We're still highlighting those organizations that are here locally to serve the community, to serve the veterans, and that's really important because
No,
it's
very
it was your
important.
vision.
And it was, as we did the shows, the group that does the Christmas presents and all of the different groups that put together stuff, and it was just amazing.
Yeah, and it was all because of something that you thought was important.
Well,
And so today we get to carry on that legacy of what you originally thought should be something somebody did. And so we thank you for that.
well,
Because there wouldn't be a Hometown Heroes if it weren't for you saying, hey, we need to do this.
right. We, you know, and our veterans, they get trampled so much by the press nowadays. It's really sad to watch that. And our priorities, what was important to Don Graves' generation, is not even on the playing field today, and that's sad.
And we speak English today, but not German because of men like Don.
German
Yeah.
or Japanese, either
Yeah, that's
one.
right.
Right.
He,
Because of
uh,
the things that they did, the sacrifices.
He not
they
only
made.
lived it, but he changed history.
Right.
And we ought to be more thankful than we are. And people, you know, it's almost now, if you was to stop and salute these flags out here, people would try to make something bad out of it. That's not where we're at.
No.
That's
It shouldn't be where we're at.
no.
It certainly shouldn't be where we're at.
And
There's a lot of people that paid a price for us to be able to put those flags up. And you know what we often say as veterans, because Rick and I and Don are all veterans, we've all served. I retired after 22 years in the Air Force. And the one thing that you know is that when you raise your hand and you swear to uphold and defend the Constitution, that you're writing a check. And that check means that you may have to give your life for this country.
that's right.
And you don't do it because you believe in their politics. You don't do it because you believe what they believe
Okay.
in terms of religion or anything else. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're all Americans, and we all should love that flag, and we should love what that flag stands for, because a lot of people paid with their blood for us to be able to still have that flag flying.
That's exactly right.
But I thought it was complicated.
It's not complicated at all.
Nope.
It's not complicated at all, and it's a crying shame that people disrespect it and want to burn it and everything else. You know,
But we have a president that stands up for that flag,
Yeah.
and you're going to get to meet him.
Yes.
the
Hold
more
on. I
dwelling
got a
in the
birthday
creek
greeting
don't
from him.
rise.
And you know how I got it? Mad Dog. Remember Mad Dog, the
Yeah.
general?
Yeah.
He told him about it. Then Donald sent me. After that, he left him.
Yeah, he did. They
And his
partied.
first
They didn't
administration.
get along.
They didn't get along after that.
And also, if we meet in the Roosevelt room, I'm going to do that speech I did.
In his
Right there.
first
Who was
term,
Mad Dog?
during his first term.
Mad Dog
Secretary of
Matheson.
Defense.
Marine
Yeah.
Who
Shell.
was the commander when the Iwo Jima? Douglas MacArthur and them, or what?
Yeah.
Was your boss? Your boss, I guess. That was MacArthur.
Who was the commander? No.
But
It wasn't.
he was in the Pacific, so he
Yeah.
was under Nimitz.
Nimitz.
Yeah, Nimitz was his boss.
MacArthur was Europe.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any help from any of the Air Force guys, 345th Bomb Group, any of them? You know,
Yeah.
Well, we have a whole thing about the Air Force
Mary
and
Stott married his Air
and
Force.
the foxholes.
Did you say the Air Corps or
And-
the Air Force?
and foxholes.
Army Air Corps.
How did you get your foxholes on Iwo Jima?
How did I get the
Okay.
foxholes? Can't bring that up.
my granddad flew B-25 Mitchell.
Smart Alec.
Yeah, Fisk.
The Air Force did it. The Air Corps didn't do. They did all right, but when the Air Force started coming, then the holes they spread out bigger.
Yeah, because Don would say when you tried to shovel
Well, we
the
dug it, they
foxhole-
caved in on us.
So then the Air Force came and dropped a bomb, and
I
it was
think the
right
pressure
size.
banked him up good.
Right. The perfect size for 3 Marines to climb in.
Well, that cost us a lot of money for the Air Corps to go over there and do that. You know, after all, they make big money.
Because
They make part of our money.
they started bombing weeks before the invasion.
Yes.
Yep. So he picks on me a lot about being Air Force, but that's all right because I always tell him I always have crayons for him.
Oh gosh.
Well, anybody got anything else? We still live?
Did you record anything?
We recorded everything.
Huh?
We recorded everything. It's
I'll
part
be
of history.
We're on live now.
Now you got to put
Yes,
it
we are.
together. Now you got to
It's
put it
finished.
together.
Yeah, go ahead.